Music. Music is more than just a mere arrangement of sounds and melodies. It's a universal language, which speaks to all and transcends all of the culture and political barriers. For me personally, music is something sacred and profound which guided me through the darkest times of my life. Music helped me when there was no one else around to do so, and that's exactly why today I would like to talk to you about the importance of music, the right kind of music in our lives. Music used to be so fleeting back then, right? There weren't any technologies or tools to record it, so it was passed on from person to person. These days, we can record it, preserve it. Just by clicking one button, we can access hundreds of thousands of songs and take it with us to a deserted island, or just show it our friends. You would think that music is anything but fleeting these days, right? Well, not exactly. While a piece of music may be preserved and recorded, its significance and interpretation, it's what varies. It changes over time, reflecting our changing values, experiences, and tastes. Music is the embodiment of our change, because if we listen to the same song we listened to 5 years or even 5 weeks ago, we won't have the same experience we did back then. And for me, that's a part of its power and beauty, because it shows us who we were in the past, but also who we strive to be in the future. It's one of the wonders of music that it can absolutely change the way we perceive the world. It can redefine who you are as a person and inspire us regarding our point of view. I think that it can shift the way you view the world, and it can increase your dopamine, or contrary, it can decrease it. And I wasn't really realizing it in the past because, well, it sounds obvious, but how can something that you just play on your phone change the way you view the world, right? Well, it did, for me, at least. And I was shocked, really, that something so small, so it seems, it's having a real tangible effect on my life and changing the way I view the world. And it wasn't doing me any good. Around 3 years ago or so, I was in the middle of the worst periods of my life. I was in relationships that, instead of making my life better, only worsened it. I was surrounding myself with people that made me doubtful and resentful and pessimistic, and took all self-esteem that I've had, which only deepened my relationship with food, bad relationship, disordered relationship with food that I had. And it really made me see myself in a bad light, questioning myself, and it led me to become a very antisocial person, only interacting with people when I really had to. And that continued on years on end. Standing right here, I can tell you that it really shaped me into being who I am right now. It changed me. But looking back on those unpleasant memories, I also see that what played a really big role and part in the way I was perceiving myself, the world, people around me, was the music I was listening to. Because, yes, it did inspire me. And it was really shocking that the melancholic, dreary, sorrowful music was really having a big impact on my life. Because I was using it as a tool to just silence my own thoughts, to just dress up my loneliness into some, I don't know, characterized version of it or aesthetic, or I was just drowning in my sadness, and music, instead of making my life better, was only getting me deeper in the rabbit hole. It was making my life worse, actually. And soon enough, I adapted sadness as my new lifestyle. But fortunately, the story doesn't end there. If it did, I probably wouldn't be standing right here next to you, rather listening to, I don't know, Radiohead or Lana Del Rey on repeat in my room all alone. But it changed me. And what saved me was, of course, a contrary point of view, a different way of thinking, surrounding myself with better, more positive people, but also some different songs on my playlist. And when I stopped listening to so much melancholic and negative music, I realized that, okay, maybe life is not that bad. And I really noticed a shift in the way I perceive the world. I started being more grateful for everything that I have. I started being more positive. And it was really, yes, it was increasing my dopamine a lot. Of course, I started being more open to new people, new experiences. As we can see, I would never do that like 3 years ago. And I also healed my relationship with food. And music kind of saved me. It destroyed me, but also saved me. Of course, I'm not saying music was a direct cause of what was happening to me at that time. But like I said, it was worsening my mental state, my psychological mental state back then, instead of making better. And I think that's not really what music is for. So what I want you all to do after this presentation is to just focus more on what kind of media you're consuming every day. Because it may appear that what you listen to is just a background noise, or it's, I don't know, something you listen for the melody, but music, it really goes to you and through you. It really is a force. And I want you all to be aware of that. Thank you.